Hello everyone and welcome back guys to a brand new video where today we're here finally back with the Williams Road to Glory. I'm so sorry. We've been so sort of stuck with my team at the moment on the channel, you know, we've been loving that series. Obviously, we've just come to the end of Season 2. If you haven't been checking it out, what on earth are you doing? It has been a fantastic series, obviously, hence why we've been doing so much of it. And the Williams Road to Glory has not been forgotten about, but certainly, yeah, hasn't been as major of a priority on the channel in recent weeks. But we are finally back today. Like I said, you know, we're going to be toning back the My Team content as we get in through Season 3. Hopefully the Williams RTG is going to be coming back a little bit more, but I've got a few other exciting bits and pieces planned on the side as well that I'm sure you guys are going to love. So, of course, we probably need a bit of a refresh then. If you missed out the last race from Paul Ricard, definitely recommend going back and checking it out. I think, yeah, it was our first points finish of the year there after a up and down start to the year. Bottas dominating the way though, 4 wins and 2 second places so far with 4 fastest laps as well, has given him a 29-point lead over his teammate Lewis Hamilton there. The Red Bulls have taken every 3rd place so far this year, as the Mercedes have won. Not actually every Grand Prix this year. Canada, Daniel Ricciardo obviously was able to sneak away from them as well. We got both Mercs, both Red Bulls, then both McLarens there. Charles Leclerc, Lance Stroll, Gasly and Sainz rounding out your top 10. Then we have got the 1 point tied with Yuki Tsunoda. Fingers crossed we can close up to Fernando Alonso as well. Their performance-wise, though, car not in great shape at the moment. Haas have brought another couple of upgrades this weekend. We currently have got 3 more in the works, which should put us back ahead of them and Alfa Romeo as well there. But fingers crossed, you know, as we head in through the European phase of the year and we get towards the summer break, we'll get a few more upgrades on. Let's dive in then to qualifying here in Austria. Heading out for qualifying then here at the Austrian Grand Prix, and fingers crossed this weekend we can have quite a good run at things once more and maintain the momentum we got at the French Grand Prix last time out there. Car does feel rather good. We had a really decent free practice session there, got all the purple scores that we needed. Just having a look at the engine, I'd actually changed over a couple of parts from free practice, so no idea now why the control electronics is so badly worn out, but we won't worry about that too much. Raikkonen sets a 103.8. Looking at it, we might actually have to change those control electronics. Of course, that was the part that went up in Season 1 of our My Team career mode here. So, yeah, definitely don't want to fall for that mistake again there. Stroll almost down into the 102s early on as well here. Times are tumbling early on here at the Austrian Grand Prix. Oh, that's a bit wide, all out over the sausage curbs there. Verstappen now definitely down in the 102s there, a low 102 for the Red Bulls. So can we see the Mercs dip into the 61 second lap times? Find a couple of corners though for ourselves. Hopefully a fairly decent benchmark on the board. Round in the final corner. Hasn't been the best lap in the world, but hasn't been too bad either. It's going to be a 104.6. 8/10 off our teammate Russell. That was worse than I thought it would be. Right, see, I will be changing the control electronics over at the end of practice. At the end of qualifying even, sorry, I should say. But fingers crossed we can try and elevate ourselves off the back row of the grid, of course, before we get those penalties. Very ragged through turn 1. Hopefully Russell, though, can give us a little bit of a tow up the hill. Thank you very much to our teammate there. Would have liked a little bit more help, but he's given us a good half-tenth as we head in towards turn 2. Don't believe in that fake turn 2 stuff. 3/10 up now as we reach the top of the 4/10 up even as we head down the other side in towards turn 3. So far this lap, yeah, but a whole lot better than the first there. Hamilton as well, just a couple of seconds up the road. Hopefully he won't get in the way all too much as well. Now half a second up, we're definitely finding a lot more momentum in the car. A little bit wide there, but as long as we don't ruin the exit like we did last time, we kind of have, but not as badly. Now we're, yeah, really motoring along there. That corner was woeful though. Losing a 10.5 there as we've got just a couple more corners to navigate. Are we going to get close to our teammate George Russell's first time of the session? That was a lot of curb through the penultimate corner. Round in the final corner again, a huge amount of curb on the exit. 3/4 of a second up. P18 leaves us a 10th off George as we need to get out of the way of him. That was almost, could have been catastrophe in towards turn 1, but yeah, we're definitely now somewhere near the money. A lot of traffic out as we get ready for our final lap there. But you can hear when we're not revving, car doesn't sound all too healthy in a couple of instances here. Back down to P19, so the Haas cars have found a bit more pace as well. As we head out the final corner, though, we've got to really try and nail this final lap of the session here. As we head back down towards turn 1. Such a short lap, so few corners, but still so difficult to really get hooked up here in the Austrian mountains. Lost a bit of time out of turn 1. Just didn't quite take as much exit curb as we have done on previous laps, so we're going to lose a little bit of momentum all the way up the hill with that. Of course, the slipstream that our teammates applied us last time around actually clipped the apex through turn 2, but it doesn't really help you too much. You want to get a straighter run on the exit of that second corner there to really find the time, and unfortunately we just couldn't get on the power early enough as we plunge back down the hill in towards turn 3. Take a nice chunk of curb on the inside, really roll on the power nice and tidily on the exit. But still, now, this is hopefully where we're going to be able to find a little bit more of the time. Oh, a lot of curb on the way in. Again, running wide, though, on the way out of that corner. That was a bit better than the previous run, but we're still 2 tenths down. As we head in towards the final couple of corners of the lap here, we're going to have to go full commitment through the penultimate corner. Really trying to attack the curb on the exit, down into 4th gear, back up into 5th, onto 6th as we activate the ZRS, a 10.5 down. It is only going to be, it's P20. The Williams, we've got nothing. That felt like a pretty hooked up lap there, but both of us right at the rear of the field. Well, there we go then, the end of qualifying, and yeah, you can see both the Haas and Alfa Romeos finding those couple of extra tenths that George Russell and I simply couldn't at the end of qualifying there. I think if we'd really hooked it up, we might just have been able to beat Gio. But, of course, like we said, we're going to be putting a whole fresh engine in the car. May as well, especially now, if we're starting from the rear of the field. Let's dive in to the Austrian Grand Prix.
Good afternoon and welcome to Spielberg, and to a circuit that in one form or another has held every Austrian Grand Prix in the championship, except the very first back in 1964. It was at this race that John Watson lost a bet and his beard when he took Team Penske's only F1 victory in 1976. If anything, the stakes are even higher today, with 25 points available for victory and a crucial advantage in the championship fight. It's one of the shortest laps on the calendar today then, with 7 rights and just 3 lefts, making up the 10 corners of this high-speed circuit. Turn 2 is barely a corner at all. They'll be flat out through there, a left-hand kink into the uphill braking zone of Turn 3. Turns 1, 3 and 4 are all potential opportunities to overtake. It's race day yet again, and joining me for a chat, Anthony Davidson. And our racers are certainly in for a rough day today. What will you be watching for as they go down into turn 1?
Well, the start of the race is always one of the most nerve-wracking parts. You have to hope that everyone is able to get off to a clean start, and this is possibly the trickiest part of the entire race. So many drivers in such a small space, and finding your braking point into turn 1 as well. It's a testament to the driver's skill that there aren't more incidents.
It's time to take a look at our starting grid for today's race. An immense lap from Lewis Hamilton yesterday puts him on pole position, and Valtteri Bottas will line up alongside. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Verstappen, Ricciardo, Sergio Perez and Norris, Sainz, Vettel, Stroll and Pierre Gasly, Fernando Alonso, Tsunoda, Esteban Ocon and Raikkonen. Leclerc, they'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty. Mazepin, Mick Schumacher and Antonio Giovinazzi. Russell and Mr. Monaco. Now, it's almost time for lights out, so let's go down to the track.
Now that we've got some points on the board, let's continue this form and aim for another top 10 finish.
Yes, but actually no, Jeff. There's a very slim chance we're going to be able to score points this weekend once more there. But here we are then, on the grid, ready for the Austrian Grand Prix. Is a soft medium strategy viable here? Game's not sure about. It might just be doable, actually, by the end of the Grand Prix there. So that's what we're going to try and do, really extend these stints. The Williams has been pretty decent on its tyres early on this year, but fingers crossed, I pray that the new control electronics has got on the car there. Let's dive in to the Austrian Grand Prix. Let's wait and see. We have got some grid penalties. That's rather really good to see there. 5 red lights. And it is a mighty long hold. And assisted starts are back on F1 2021. I need to change the settings on every career mode I do, apparently, on this game. So I'll make sure I get that sorted out for the next video there. Lots of yellow flags through turn 1. Bottas! Title leader. What's happened to Valtteri Bottas off the start there? Surely he's come together with his teammate. So riding on board then with Valtteri Bottas as he head down towards turn 1 there, side by side with Verstappen, just gets clipped over the curb. And I think it was similar to, I want to say Schumacher back in the early 2000s here. Bottas sent to the rear of the field. He is going to be a man on a mission. They're like 4 wide as we head up in towards turn 2. What is that from Russell? up 5 places in towards that corner there. We get into a little bit of a scuffle with the Alfa Romeos, but everyone trying to be so aggressive at the start of this Grand Prix there. Bottas, though, only 3 seconds back, and yeah, I don't think it's going to be long before he's going to be trying to get back past us here. These are going to be races that can define the World Championship there. As yeah, Russell has made a blinding stocks and he's on those mediums, moving past both of the Alfa Romeos and the Haas car of Mick Schumacher. Hopefully he can help us out against them as well over the course of the race there. It looks like Mazepin has jumped Charles Leclerc as well further up the order, but Kimi also on medium, so he should be a little bit vulnerable at the start of the Grand Prix there, as Bottas already has taken a second out of us. Hamilton leads the way at the end of lap 1 there, and I'm sure it would have been even more controversial if the two Mercs had come together here. But yeah, Hamilton leads the way ahead of Verstappen. I think it's Lando Norris up in P3 there, ahead of Carlos Sainz. Still side by side as they head back down towards turn 1. Can we now get a run on Kimi Räikkönen? Try and get a run on the flying fin as we head back up the hill there. We're going to use a little bit more of our battery. Have a look to the outside of the fin. You can just see how aggressive everyone is being at the start of the Grand Prix there. Kimi having none of it. We get boxed in by Gio and left with nowhere to go on the exit of the corner there. Is now Bottas all over the back of us. He might be able to get a run and push us back down into last place of the Grand Prix there. Kimi absolutely battling for everything at the start of this Grand Prix there. The two fins now are going to go side by side. We might just have to sit back here as Bottas left with nowhere to go. We now get a run back on the fin. What's going on at the start of this Austrian Grand Prix there? Such a dramatic start to this race, but Bottas has pulled it off. I'm sure he'll move past Kimi soon enough. Fingers crossed we can capitalise as well. There goes Bottas in towards the final couple of corners here on Kimi Räikkönen. I don't think the fin, well, one of the fins can do anything to defend from the other there. So yeah, we now might be able to get a run again on Kimi. There is DRS now enabled.
Being enabled this lap, we can use DRS when you are within 1 second of the car ahead and in the DRS zone.
Thank you very much for that, Jeff, as I make a bit of a mistake again through turn 1 there, struggling just to work out where everyone else is braking. But we're going to use again a bit of our battery as we head up the hill there. Are we going to be able to go for a bit of a send on Kimi? How did we get that stopped? And what on earth was that from Kimi Räikkönen there? Huge move in the braking zone. Not too sure how we deserve a warning for that.
Overtakes. That was very risky. We could have received a penalty.
What do you mean that was risky from me? That was all on Kimi Räikkönen trying to move in the braking zone there. Not a fan of that from the fin. Somehow we've all got out of that without any damage. But yeah, Kimi Räikkönen, no idea what we've done to upset him. Right, come on then. 4th time's a charm on the fin as we head back up in towards turn 2 here. Bottas is making light work of a lot of these guys. And now we'll send it up the inside there. Return the favour to Kimi Räikkönen last lap. Hang him out to dry. We'll leave him down in last place here as we try and move forward. Certainly has been a while since I drove this Williams. Finally feel like I'm starting to get into the groove with it once more as we head back down through turn 1. Now we might be able to get a run on our teammate George Russell here, as Bottas still trying to make moves on the Haas cars. Now up against Mick Schumacher. Up the hill, Russell goes defensive. Can we try and get a switch back on our teammate? No, we'll give us some room around the outside. Get out the power way earlier and clean around the outside of our teammate we go. On different strats, hopefully we can work together. Unfortunately for all of us, all this battling Bottas has been doing with the back markers has really just left us all with no touch to the midfield runners. They're completely locking the rears at the top of the hill that time round. We're having so many issues into turn 2 in this Grand Prix. We're only 6 laps in. Yeah, nothing happening this time around though. We can see already a huge gap to the midfield runners up the road. Oh, accidentally up the inside of Mick Schumacher that time around. They didn't actually plan on going for a move. That was taking, I think, him by surprise as much as it did me there. I'm at a P17 now of the Grand Prix as Gio, yeah, is looking feisty up against Mazepin. Gio having a look at Mazepin as they reach the top of the hill there, and the Russian going very, very defensive on the Italian. A bit of wheel-to-wheel contact. Can we try and capitalise? Oh, on the exit of the corner there, we almost were able to get the power down, but a big hit of wheel spin right at the very last moment there. Giovinazzi goes defensive. We think about making it 3 wide there, but thought better of that. As Gio gets hung out to dry. Can we now get a run on the Alfa Romeo as we head down the hill? In towards turn 5 we go. Is Gio going to have this? There is a bit of wheel-to-wheel contact and we get left with nowhere to go. In the end there, Mick Schumacher going to try and come back at us. It might not be a battle. Oh, that's annoying. I was just about to say it might not be a battle for points, but it had been a very, very fun battle up to that point. But now, we've got a whole lot of work to do. There we go, so Nikita Mazepin then clearly has taken a lot out of his rubber early on in this Grand Prix. We haven't done too well on him either, though. And Mazepin, yeah, the first man into the pit lane. I think one of the McLarens has dived it in as well. So we're not in last place for very long again here, and we were taking a good little bit of time out of our teammate on that last lap as well. For our strat to work though, we really need to get these tyres at least another couple of laps. It's going to be difficult.
Our gap to the car in front is 8.6 seconds.
Oh, we got yellow flags out. Oh, that's Mazepin pulling over in this Grand Prix. I almost sounded disappointed there. Has he lost it? Or no, I think he's just binned it. Trying on board there with Nikita Mazepin as we head down through the double left-hander. He's done a Mazepin. He's looped it by himself in the gravel trap. He's done a Mazepin. He's also done a me in this Grand Prix. I don't think I can take much moral high ground there. But Mazepin, yeah, around in this race. As now his teammate Mick Schumacher into the pits at the end of lap 11. Or the start of lap 11 even, I should say. And you can see there, Charles Leclerc, who started outside the points, already has come back out ahead of me in this Grand Prix. We're going to dive in the end of this one because these tyres are shot. We're going to follow a huge chunk of cars then in this Grand Prix into the pits. Going to be interested to see where we come out in comparison to Nikita Mazepin in this Grand Prix. So we try and be nice and aggressive into the pit lane there, just so I get it slowed down in time. Bottas back out again on another set of soft tyres there, so I'm not too sure what strat the Merc's going with in this Grand Prix, but I think, yeah, we are still going to be behind Nikita Mazepin in this race. Come on, nice quick stop. 2.4 isn't too bad, but not too brilliant either. So let's head back out the pit lane.
One stop left in this strategy.
Yeah, not too sure the one stop I had in mind is going to work here. I think we are going to have to go on to a medium soft towards the end. Mazepin now, yeah, only 5 seconds up the road, so he definitely cost himself a lot of time there. I think Schumacher now going slowly. Is this going to be an engine failure for the other Haas in this Grand Prix there? I think Mick Schumacher pulling over. He definitely hasn't made a mistake there, surely. Schumacher out of the Austrian Grand Prix there at 1/3 distance. And that is heartbreak for the Ferrari-powered Haas. Giovinazzi into the pits at the end of lap 15 there. Start of lap 16 in this Grand Prix, so he's done pretty well on his first set of tyres there. He's actually going to get jumped by Nikita Mazepin though, only a second in front of us, as we're taking pretty much, yeah, second out of the Russian lap after lap. Hopefully if these two start battling again, we can get a bit closer. But yeah, it shouldn't be too long anyway that we get towards the Haas car.
We've been informed of an incident which has resulted in lots of loose debris on the track. The safety car is being deployed. Okay, slow down, slow down. Your delta is negative, which means you are too fast. Reduce your pace.
Not too sure what's gone on there. I'll have a quick look up and down the field. Well, I couldn't see anything up and down the order there, and no one else has retired from the Grand Prix, so really not too sure what has happened in this race.
Stay out on track, stay out on track.
But we're going to dive it in at the end of this lap there. We are down in last place still, so we've got nothing really to lose by boxing now. Yeah, we're going to pit in and go on to another set of mediums that should, hopefully, see us through to the end of the Grand Prix there. But our teammate has gone on to hards to try and get him through, but of course he's already stopped once already in this Grand Prix. Oh, sorry, he hasn't stopped at all in this Grand Prix, and obviously was already on the mediums, hence why he couldn't pit. So I'm going to be ahead of the Merc.
See these tyres through to the end now.
Heading back out of the pit lane here. We need to try and not do anything to these tyres over the next couple of laps, as we try and close up.
Our delta is too low and we risk a penalty. Slow your pace immediately. The safety car is...
Right, so safety car in then at the end of lap 20, 16 to go here from Austria, and fingers crossed now on a fresh set of medium tyres so we can try and get these things to the end. They have had a bit of wear put through them now, of course, over these last few laps. They're up to 10%, but hopefully they'll remain quick right the way through to the end of the Grand Prix there. Giovinazzi in front of us also on mediums, not too sure what he's doing to get to the end, whether he's going for the same strat as us or something a bit different, but we need to try and spend as little time as possible. Stop behind the Haas of Mazepin. So we head out the final corner. It's green flag racing once again here from the Austrian Grand Prix, back down towards turn 1. Of course, cold tyres, cold brakes, everything like that, and you can just see how much we're struggling as we try and put the power back down there over the sausage curb, losing the back end quite a lot. But we have kept it clean off the restart. And we have a look for a bit of a send. Yes, in one word, yes we can. And Mazepin, we'll see you at the checkered flag, mate. Really hoping we can at the very least move our way to the front of the back markers. There is Bottas in again. What on earth is that strat from Mercedes? Bottas now is going to be way behind everyone unless he's lost his front wing or something. Not too sure what's gone on there as we get a big run on Giovinazzi, who had a big lock up through turn 1. Can we get a run up the hill there? Gio, a big old squeeze as we head up in towards turn 2. He's now going to have a send on our teammate Russell. Oh, we tried to get the switch back, but nothing happening there. Somehow no front wing damage in that instance, so we get another warning. So, oh, we're just going to get boxed in, trying to wiggle our way through 3 wide as we head back down the hill. This is great racing. That's not, though. Nowhere to go. Could see that happening. Mazepin's rammed into the back of us as well. We get a warning for a collision there, even though Giovinazzi was the one that ran deep into us. As Mazepin now trying to have a look, getting back involved in this party. Oh, we got another safety car. What's going on?
Is out. We need you to reduce your pace. It looks like there's a high amount of debris on the track.
Daniel Ricciardo out of the Grand Prix? Is that an engine failure? I think that's an engine failure. Yeah, Ricciardo out of this Grand Prix there. No, yeah, no, that is an engine failure. He did have his front wing still. So we're going to move up a couple more places. But now, could we think about trying to go onto a set of soft tyres to the end of the Grand Prix? That would work, I think. Right, end of lap 23 then. We're going to dive it in. We're going to take the gamble and try and get onto a set of softs to the end of this Grand Prix here. Fingers crossed we can hang on. All I'm thinking is, obviously, with less fuel in the car and everything like that, the tyres should go a little bit longer in this Grand Prix. And if we can make up some places off the restart, that would be really nice as well. There, fingers crossed we can work with the likes of Bottas and Lando Norris here. But we're going to have to really nurse these tyres over the safety car window there. What percentage are they on? Oh, they're on 7% already. That's a good lap's worth. But, yeah, we need to coast this thing round until the restart. Right, so safety car getting in then at the end of lap 25 here. 11 to go from the Austrian Grand Prix, and we've tried to nurse these tyres as best as possible there. They're sat at about 10% wear each, so trying to get them through 11 laps to the end is going to be difficult, but we're going to give it our best shot anyway. We don't have a massive chance of scoring points otherwise, so we may as well try and move our way through the order if we can, and then hang on for dear life right in the dying stages here of this Austrian Grand Prix at the final corner. Caught napping a little bit this time around there, but I'm sure we're going to see Norris and Bottas on the charge early on off the restart here. So like I said, fingers crossed we can just work with those guys. Oh, again, really still struggling with that cold rubber off the restart as we try to attack through turn 1 there. But already Mazepin under pressure from Lando Norris as we head up the hill there. Bottas going to try and follow him past as there's a lot of congestion up at the top of the hill there. Oh, Bottas with a race though. We thought about getting a run on the mud, but thought we'd better try to save the tyres a little bit more off the restart there. Lando Norris has pulled off the move, but is Bottas going to be able to do anything here? Thought about it again, but we're trying to play a conservative race, get ourselves to the flag is the main priority. Here comes Valtteri Bottas. We've got more yellow flags. I think one of the Ferraris has gone round. Bottas has looped it as well. What's going on in this race? Valtteri Bottas has had so many issues there. Charles Leclerc's had an engine failure. Mazepin's gone into the back of him. It's carnage here in the Styrian Mountains. Are we going to get another safety car? No.
Slow down and maintain a positive delta. There's been an incident resulting in a high level of debris on the track. We've been informed that due to the increasing risks, they're moving from a virtual to a full safety car.
So now we've got a full safety car in this Grand Prix, and we're up into 9th place here. A load of cars into the pit lane, so Russell now into 7th. The Aston Martins have got a 1-2 there, and 3 safety cars in the last 10 laps. What's going on here in Styria? But this has put us in a great position because we've not only still on these softs, but we've now been gifted a handful of places, and it's going to be easier to get them to the flat. We've got even more cars into the pit lane as well, thus we're going to be handed a couple more positions in this Grand Prix. Whichever Aston Martin was in the lead has dived it in, as well as the Alfa Romeo there. I think that's Raikkonen. Yeah, he's got a 5-second penalty. And Vettel into the pits as well there. So Lance Stroll is going to lead this Grand Prix as we get ready for the final safety car restart. But hopefully the final safety car restart, but we're now up into P7. Russell, 5th. Going green then for the final, hopefully the final time here in Austria. We've got these Lance Stroll leading the way ahead of Perez and Esteban Ocon here, but we've got to really try and use our soft tyre advantage early on off the restart here. Tyres still, of course, very, very cold, but Hamilton behind us. Norris just in front there trying to have a look past our teammate George Russell as we head up the hill there. We've got 4 Brits all together in this Grand Prix, but here we go up the inside. Oh, it's very, very aggressive from ourselves. Not the best move in the world that I've ever tried to pull off there, and I think Lando Norris.
Room for other cars. We can't take too many penalties.
Yeah, no, that one I can accept. Probably wasn't the best move in the world from myself, but we didn't gain anything out of it either. Russell, though, still trying to go back at Lando Norris there as we head down the hill, and you can see the gap to Giovinazzi up the road is just opening up here, but both Williams have ran wide there. Hamilton sneaking up the inside as we head down the hill there, and that was not what we needed. Oh, Sainz trying to have a look as well. Not too sure how I feel about that one from Carlos Sainz. Certainly an optimistic move. At the very least, as now we've got a huge train of cars just behind us. Russell and Hamilton side by side through the final couple of corners there, but Hamilton has picked off both Williams in just one lap here. There's more drama. Sainz has had to pit in at the end of the lap as well, though. We've now got to run on our teammate Russell back down towards turn 1 here to try and reclaim P7 in this Grand Prix there. And we do go clean around the outside of our teammate there. I think we're going to have to leave him to try and defend from Max Verstappen
Into P7.
as we head back up the hill there. But Giovinazzi now trying to defend from Lando Norris as well. It's still carnage and chaos late on in this Austrian Grand Prix there. I think Gio has lost the place to Lando, but there is still a good chance that Hamilton or Lando Norris could win this Grand Prix there, as that's Stroll and Perez running for their lives. I cannot believe this. I cannot believe this late on in the Austrian Grand Prix. My wheel has just decalibrated. I've gone to just do a rewind, just so we can try and get it sorted, but I can't get it far enough back. Literally, we're stuck on the rewind screen. You can see it's literally gone full lock that way for whatever reason, and there's nothing I can do. Literally, if we click restart, it just pings us at a tyre wall. I'm trying to slam the brakes, but anything we do, we just lose the wheel. This has got to be the weirdest and worst possible way I think I've ever retired from a Grand Prix. I'll try and go full lock this way. Yeah, nothing. Nothing I can do. Can I go full lock the other way? I just can't screw off enough speed or get the angle of the car back round. That is crazy here on F1 2021. And I think every time as well we do a rewind, it's just taking us one frame closer. You guys know I don't use rewinds unless I let you guys know about it. Hasn't happened often that a wheel has done this on this game. We can't get out of it. We're stuck in a loop. I cannot believe that is going to put an end to what would have been our best result of the year, because my wheel decalibrated by itself in this Grand Prix. There's nothing I can do. I can't rewind back any further. I can't scroll off any more speed. Can I hit it a bit more square on? No. No, we've got to... I'm lost for words. I'm genuinely lost for words here. There's nothing we can do to get away from this. I so desperately wanted the points here. I'm trying to have a look at the wall, see if there's anything, if there's anywhere we can hit a bit better. Can we hit it like completely square on? No. That time round we scrubbed off a lot more speed. Oh, we've taken our team out as well there. I think, yeah, it's literally a case now of trying to not take out any other cars in the process in this Grand Prix. That's going to be the best way we can do it here to not affect the rest of the runners. I cannot believe that. I genuinely cannot believe that's happened at the end of this race. We were on for P7. My wheel just randomly snapped one way. I'm getting a replacement, one of these, but this Fanatec has been playing up for weeks now on the channel, and it's cost us points on our return to the Williams Road to Glory.
That's it then for another spectacular Grand Prix here at Austria, and a truly magnificent drive to hang on and take the win. And talk to me, what do you think it was that sealed the win for them?
Well, they certainly stood out as a drive with tons of confidence on the track. I think their ability to keep their cool, even during some of the more hectic parts of the race, meant they were able to capitalise on the mistakes of other drivers, giving them the opportunity to make their way to the top spot with ease.
And I can see the drivers starting to approach the podium for the victory celebrations. A real team victory today. Everybody played their part. Congratulations then to Mercedes, your race winners today. So then, it's time to see how this result affects the Drivers' Championship. It wasn't the best weekend for our championship leader, and their advantage at the top has been reduced. Some amazing talent out on the track today, but Anthony, who would you pick as your driver of the day?
There's a few contenders, but George Russell definitely stood out, I think. A really solid drive from him today, and one I'm sure the fans enjoyed.
It's time to check out the constructors' standings. Mercedes continue to extend their lead. Well, Ant, an end to another fantastic weekend of racing. Thanks to everyone who joined us, and we'll see you for the next one.
I cannot believe in the last 2 days we've had so many issues here on F1 2021. To be fair, that one wasn't the game. That one was my wheel there. But the crash last time round at the end of Abu Dhabi there, I'm praying. It seems to come in chunks on F1 2021 for me, I'll be honest. I'm praying the next few races we don't get any more issues with this game there. But Hamilton, somehow in all of that, has taken home the race victory. Perez came through for P2. Perez came through for P3 somehow behind his teammate Verstappen when all is said and done there. Vettel still beat Stroll in all of that. So very, very lost and confused at the end of the Grand Prix there. Raikkonen just missed out ahead of Giovinazzi though. And then you can see the 4 DNFs there. Myself, Leclerc, Ricciardo and Mick Schumacher there, all not making it through to the checkered flag there. Championship-wise, Lando jumps Daniel Ricciardo, Sebastian Vettel jumps Carlos Sainz there. We get jumped by Ocon as he gets his first points of the year there. And Mazepin on countback gets past Russell and Mick Schumacher as well there. Constructors-wise, Aston Martin now 2 clear of Ferrari as well there. But yeah, no idea what to say at the end of that race there. Apologies to you guys again just for the complete weirdness that F1 2021 has been over the last couple of days for ourselves. But fingers crossed we'll get back into it tomorrow. It will hopefully be a little bit more back to normal as well. Of course, we've got the podcast with Jamie as well making its return, so you guys do not want to miss that as well. Thank you all so much for watching, and yeah, we'll be back very, very soon with round 8 of the Williams Road to Glory. A massive thank you for the continued support from our channel members, featuring The Travesty, Patrick, Chuan, David, Ben, Aiden, Efstathios, Kato and Sean for their continued support on the channel. None of the videos would be possible without their support, and if you want to be featured in these clips, make sure you click the join button below.